Australia versus New Zealand in the T20 that's going on. So the third T20 happened last night.
Hang on, this is my shit-eating grin.
Yes. I'm so happy.
Yeah, that's my shit-eating grin.
Australia winning again. God,
Yes.
God, it feels good.
So the third T20 was played yesterday. Oh, and we're just talking about the English selectors.
Oh, that was out. Oh, they didn't
going with
celebrate that well.
folks, and he's gone for 1 off 12, falls victim to Ravi Ashwin. I forgot to mention before, Ravi Ashwin picking up his 400th. He's actually the second fastest ever to get to 400.
77 test matches.
77 test matches.
78, of course, in this one.
Behind a guy called Murali. I don't know if you heard
just
of him.
straight.
Genuine edge. Rahane at first
He
slip.
played for spin.
But Rahane didn't even celebrate that. I thought it landed short.
But
But that's, God, you
gobbled it
just
up.
got to play that better, Ben, folks. Like, you can blame
Yeah.
Dex as much as you want. You just have to,
That-
God, he's faced 11 balls and you've got Ravi Ashwin spitting it at you on the pitch.
Yeah.
But
He gets the one that didn't turn. And stays on, gets the edge, and away you go.
seems to be the one that's doing the damage at the moment.
Yes.
so, back to the T20. Sorry,
Yeah, so
Kev.
yesterday, day before today, was
1 + 2 - 1 is 1.
No more quick math days of the week here on the
I was
Esky.
trying to think which day it was, actually. I've not been working for a little while. So the last three of the T20 internationals between Australia and New Zealand to be played in Wellington due to New Zealand lockdowns. That's all I'm going to say about Corona.
Yes.
The dimensions at Sky Stadium, aka the Cake Tin, slightly bigger than the two previous ovals down there in Hobbiton.
More a
South
full-size
Island.
cricket pitch. No, it's not
I
complete,
wouldn't
but
say
it's
full-
closer.
Yeah, closer. It's maybe like a touch smaller than the SCG.
Yes.
I think the square boundaries are still quite short. The straight boundaries were like 72 metres. That's pretty standard. Yeah. But yeah, it sort of resembles.
It looks like a full proper cricket ground
Yeah,
versus
that's right.
what they were playing on.
Yeah, that's
The
right.
park cricket.
not the under 13s Div 2 cricket field that the last two games were held on. Cricket Australia during the week, they confirm my boy Aaron Finchy will be captain at the T20 World Cup in India later this year, in October, November. So he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. And Sean was getting an absolute rocket up him last week, as were a lot of people. He actually had 25 innings leading up to this one, all formats, so across playing for Australia and the Big Bash where he hadn't reached 50. So that is a monkey's on that back, that head noise.
Yeah. Made a cheeky 69 from it. Nice.
We shall.
Well, I just want to say,
shall
like,
get to that.
the reason we bagged him so much is because we're following the on the
Esky
Esky
curse, the
on
on
the
the
Esky
Esky
curse. Like, you bag them, they come good, and they play well.
Yep,
So
that's happened a few times.
you're welcome.
Yes. So
Again, Aaron Finch, you're one. Welcome. You,
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma. Who else did we get? Rashad Pan
the
hasn't
West
dropped the
Indies
ball.
cricket.
Pan.
West
Yeah.
Indies.
There's been a few
Former Lion on the
NFL
Esky.
teams. I think. I think the Baltimore Ravens might have been. That was me, actually, not you. Watch out for the Ravens this postseason. Yeah, the old on the Esky curse. So all I want to say now is, geez, that Pepsi, his golf game is horrendous. Seriously, he needs to be dropped out of the golf chat, and he sucks.
God, if it's anything like his chat, then I don't blame you.
Anyways, on the Esky curse aside, Big Riley Meredith makes his international debut. He's $1 million man with the Punjab Kings in the upcoming IPL.
Isn't that wild? Like, you got $1 million. Sorry to cut you
you're
completely
right.
off there.
He played really well in the Big Bash, though.
Big Bash,
he's been
I
really
guess
solid in the
that's
Big Bash for the last couple of years. So
That was
But he's
rare.
never,
And he's young,
He'd
so-
never played for Australia, and
By that.
they chuck $1 million at him.
Yeah, but I mean, you bowl 150 clicks, you should get paid, but it's
You gotta
it's pretty
remember,
cool.
$1 million
It's
bucks is
pretty-
probably, well, it's not probably, it's a lot of money. But in the context of the IPL,
Of the
and the
IPL.
Oxygen, it's like, that's a good salary. That's
yeah.
middle tier. It's not the 2.9 or whatever it is Maxwell got.
Yeah, chump change.
Yeah, exactly. yeah.
Yeah, exactly. For a bloke who's not getting picked for Tassie in Shield cricket, I know we're talking different, but it's I just think it's a cool
It's
little
wild.
thing. So,
It's
yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
So Warnie's been on his horse for
Pumping him up.
18
big time.
months, I think. I think last Big Bash I was listening about it. He's got to be playing for Australia in all formats. It was
He's young. He's 24.
24, I believe. Yep. Daniel Sam's unfortunate to miss out. He did have that stunning 41 of 15
Him
balls.
and Stoinis had that partnership.
Yeah, that massive partnership which got Australia so close in the second game. I suppose for him, he's not picked there on his batting. It's about his bowling and some of the death bowling.
Yep.
Probably a little lackluster. nothing to worry about for him. I'm sure he plays a lot more short format cricket
Big time.
for Australia.
Yeah.
And the Kiwis had a change. I think Mitch Santner was crook. Mark Chapman comes back in for them.
Didn't they have someone as well?
Most
Had
boring
to
name
pull
ever.
out
Mark
very.
Chapman.
Chapman, very
boring
very
name.
vanilla name, isn't
Who
it?
made 11?
It's
Just
a no
yuck.
Did the Kiwis have a late change to someone was a close contact with COVID and they had to sit in? I can't remember.
It's Mitch Santner, so
Okay,
that was the change.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I don't even know if it was that. I think it was, he's got a cold.
There's no fiddling with that. You just
New Zealand is very strict on this.
Very strict.
One or two
Shout out
cases.
Jacinda.
Like
Jacinda
lockdown.
Ardern.
But look,
shout
we
out.
had the crowd. We had the crowd in the first T20 and how good, and then there was a little
and
suspect, and now no one could go out. So, but again, hey, they're doing it. They're dominating it. So you can't. Whatever. We won't. Sorry, we're not. Sports. Let's talk about the game. Pep. Take us straight into the game.
New Zealand win the toss in this one, and they elected to bowl. Finchy said he would have done the same. Turned out to go okay for Australia. Josh Philippe, our boy, he's cute. He makes runs. 43 off 27.
Balding. Shout out to the ball
I thought
crew.
Philippe.
Give it up, Josh.
Showed Finchy the way a little bit in this because Finchy started off slow. Of course, you had that LBW review on when he was on North after 3 balls and it looked pretty plumb.
Let's talk about that. So
That
watching that live, that looked out. Like, I was like, oh god, oh no, here he goes. It's dark. And then given not out, goes to DRS. It's just clipping leg stump bails, so it's less than 50% of the ball. Umpires call. See you later. And there may be another Indian wicket here. We'll get to that in just a second.
Shuman Gill's very lively.
So Finchy gets an absolute lifeline, and like you said, he wasn't lightened.
Wasn't really seeing it, and then Philippe, Wade gets out.
He missed it, didn't he? Though he just missed a bloody straight one.
Yeah, and then Philippe comes out, and then he gets 19 from 12, or it was real quick. Like he hit some really nice boundaries really early to get going, and I think Finchy was just like,
takes the pressure off him.
Yeah, it's like this is not as hard as I thought it'd be.
Rotate the strike, get your eye in, and
could see what Philippe was doing and what he was getting away with. So it was like, well, might as well.
And then once he got to about 20, Finchy was just playing some really nice, pure shots. It's pure. He hits the ball so clean. We do have a review here.
Is it off the foot?
That
one.
Dan Lawrence has just patted it down and landed straight on top of Shuman Gill's toes.
It looks like it might hit the front though and hit the ground.
Spat up.
Nah, it's going to hit the ground. They're going to say it hits the ground.
Nah, it's soft signals out. They won't overturn the umpire. So
but look at it. It's hitting the ground.
The DRS.
There's no daylight between ground.
So it's actually quite fitting, and we were just talking about that Finch DRS, and there's been a few people come out and say, oh, God, it's Warney. Warney's a chore in the fucking box.
Isn't he?
The point is, it's pretty valid in that, and the Finch one was a good example. That's definitely
I reckon there's some grass there. I think he's safe.
It's hit the front of the toe.
Dan Lawrence, I'm calling it now. He's safe.
You have, but and this is the issue. You can't, to overturn the umpire's decision has to be 100% clarified. But if it says on the DRS hitting the stumps, I'll retain review, go with the umpire's decision. You can't hit the stumps and you not be out. So if it's saying hit the stumps, you kind of. And this is the grey line because it's his technology. We won't know because there was a pad in front of it. And yet we've come a long way from no DRS, so you can't really...
Well, there was the one last week.
Shit can it because it's only in its infancy as is. It's only a couple years.
Well, there was the one for Barstow last week.
Bairstow,
sorry. That he got the first ball where it was LBW. We all thought that looked plumb. Watching it, the side-on angle... It looked like it didn't have as much elevation, but then the DRS showed it missing by about 3 inches.
Yeah.
And it was like...
they have overturned it. There you go. Sorry, Sean. But
it never looked like it was bouncing that high. So it's just, I guess, the technology and what they thought the ball would do. Because bounce is always variable. So it's something they got to take into consideration where they think the trajectory and working it out.
And if you talk to anyone involved in Hawkeye, in DRS, they swear by it. They say this is... correct. Like there's no 1% chance. This is what we've done. It's the maths. The ball is traveling at this speed, at this from this angle. It's going to do that. There is no. The only people that say we're not sure about it is international cricket, is the ICC. They can't have this grey area. They need this human error. And I get it, you had it for 150 years.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would have been around for 10 years right now, DRS. So you've got to accept that we can't have it perfect right now. I think the point of we're looking at the ball from up and the ball would have hit the stumps, but we're saying not out. We're defending the umpire, and the argument is then the umpire gives everything out because then you can't overturn it. But that's not what the point is. The point is you look at it, and eventually, God, does it come to a point where we get rid of umpires?
Well, that's the counter argument, isn't it? Yeah.
And we love cricket. God, you want the blokes with the floppy hats out there and clicking the overs and everything.
150 years
they obviously do a lot more than that. But
well, I guess we're getting a bit sidetracked on the DRS conversation, but just
on the Esky, you're sidetracked. No.
Your thoughts though. What's preference? Do you DRS or no DRS? Do you go back?
You got to have it. You got to have it.
I think if you bring in replays, and if you got replay stuff on TV, then you've got to be able to, do the DRS. Because otherwise you're hanging the umpies out to dry. Essentially, it's like, that was not out.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to show replays and it was like, hey,
it's great.
Umpy's called it, was like, all right, we're going to live it. That's what they've said.
You can't follow it up and look at it. Yeah. It's to get rid of the howler, and I understand that's their argument. It's one that's hitting middle of middle, and you look at Rob Moody on Twitter, shout out Rob Linder, but some of the ones he puts up that are just hitting middle of middle, and they get given not out, and they just go back to the top of their mark and they bowl. And you don't need DRS to know that's hitting middle of middle. Yeah. You need to have that ability to be like, you've just fucked that up. We need to just check that. And don't get upset. Like, players hit bad shots, blokes drop catches, people bowl pies. You make a shit decision.
Well, it's probably relevant. I don't think it's in our notes, but the Sheffield Shield, one of the wickets in the games, the umpy, there's a very strong signal for it. The umpy's gone up to give it out. But then, within 10 seconds, it's like, actually, no, it's not out. So he's actually reversed his decision within that 10 seconds.
Did his hand go up?
Yeah, he went up like that, and then it's like, no, sorry, it's not out. I think.
Run me through that. I'll try and find out.
What was? I think it was a catch. So it's like hit the pads. It's hit the pads and gone off, and he's had a swing out, missed. But they've gone up really strong, and I think in the moment the umpy's just like, yes, he's hit it, and then as he's going up, he's like, actually no, he's missed that by a mile. Sorry, I'm wrong. And I think he said dead ball in that. But it was quite interesting.
Because
I back that. Like, hey, if you make a wrong decision, just be like, I fucked that, and just, in that moment say that the correct decision was made. Like, he was right. He'd missed it completely. It wasn't out.
And because cricket is so definitive. You are out. You can't do anything about it. In footy, if you make a mistake, if you knock the ball on in rugby league, fuck it, I'm going to go back and next one I'll catch it and I'll play a couple tackles. If you're the batsman that gets out, you have to go sit down for a couple of days. You can't do anything about
especially
it.
on a howler.
Like, so you
this is bullshit.
And that's what the DRS is for, and I understand that. But do we need a?
You want
right now what we've got is an 85% lock of a thing. So I think we should be very happy with that. We can't. Yeah. We just have to. This is still in its infancy. Infancy.
Yeah.
Infancy.
Jesus, Sean, I've been hanging out with you too much, mate. God damn it. School teacher can't speak. A couple of weeks on the Esky.
Tongue twister.
Let's that cricket game we were talking about earlier. Let's get to that.
So I think we talked about Philippe Finch 43 and 69. Then Maxwell of course comes in. Did you mention Finchy's reverse sweep for 6 to bring up his 50?
It was off a free hit. The ball before was Noe, and he goes, right, might have a crack here, and a brilliant reverse sweep for 6. Bringing up his 50, as mentioned before, his first in 25 knocks across all T20 formats. And, geez, I'm on him for, backing me up. I was going for the reverse curse, actually saying, oh, well, he's one of the best.
Get behind your boy.
He's one of the best short format batsmen Australia's ever seen. Oh. So, I think any chat about dropping him was lunacy. But
I never thought drop him. I thought maybe in the series you'd sit him just to kick him in the bum, essentially.
Like we're saying,
but I think the chat, besides us, all the media gets stuck into him about the game. He's just like, hey, I'm pressure situation. Philippe's getting me some runs here, so less pressure on me to actually score, but I want to have a big score and play well. So he's come out and fired. It's G'd him up.
In your defence, Warney and Junior were talking about it.
Yeah,
definitely. They were saying he's in terrible form. When do you start having the discussion about, no one's immune from being dropped? Exactly. Not even the Australian Test captain. So the fact that we're talking about it gives it legitimacy. Again, everyone loves a story. Everyone's got short memories.
Yes.
So I think it was more just chatter than anything. But good to see him make some runs. And there's two T20s now if Australia can win both of them, they can win the series. Would love to see him go out and make more runs. A bloke that isn't short of any form really at the moment, Glenn Maxwell. He had a quick 70 of 31, including 5 sixes, I believe, and he was just walking around his stumps with no regard whatever for where they were.
They set a great platform for him.
From outside off. Yeah. Well, he came out there and there was already a few runs on the board, so he could just go bananas really with Stoinis. And Mitch Marsh back in the sheds. Did you see that where he broke the chair?
I didn't see that. I saw that in the notes. And
so it was off Jimmy Neesham, poor fella, after his game 2 heroics. He goes for 60 in this, and then he ended up having a golden actually as well in this. Not his best day at the office.
Anti-Aquila.
He gets He gets pulled for 6, and it goes straight through one of the empty seats at Wellington.
It was cool to see him.
Massive hole. Yeah, massive hole in it. And he ended up, they pulled the seat out. He signed it. It's getting auctioned off for charity. So,
it's pretty cool.
Someone benefits from the broken seat.
Good thing no one was sitting there because
and a lot of them were fizzing. He made 70 off 31 and set up the platform there for Australia. They were 4 for 208, a really nice score there of the 20 overs. Something I did want to mention, the $2 million man, we're talking about Riley Meredith, the $1 million man in the IPL, the $2 million man, Cole Jamieson, is yet to look like it so far in this series. I know he's got some excellent Plunket Shield form. So he's getting $2 million from Royal Challengers Bangalore through 3 games in this series. 1 for 126 off 11 overs, going at 11.5. So again, there's now those primary school ovals that they call international cricket venues. Never good for fast bowlers.
Yeah, especially and you've got Glenn Maxwell again, like you say, treating these wickets as if they weren't there, and walking around, hitting over his head, and Finchy's hitting reverse sweeps.
I'm sure RCB's watching this with intent, going.
You're going, it's money straight down the drain. It's like what I do after paying for a round of golf. Going, what the fuck did I do that for? My God. Yeah. But look, he's a gun and he hits a big rock as well. So I think that flexibility with Kyle Jamieson, he's fine.
Three games, short sample size.
Yeah, and it's international cricket. It's not big bash. You say, Finch's big bash form is worrying because you're versing club cricketers, whereas this is, Glenn Maxwell, Aaron, blokes actually,
How the New Zealanders do?
Not too good. So they got skittled for 144. They lose by 64 runs. Not the best game for the neutral viewer. Great for an Aussie fan. They actually started off really nicely. Guptill, after his form slump, where leading up to that 97 that he got, more runs, 43 of 28. Devon Conway, we know what damage he can do. He had 38 of 27. He was actually dropped by the big Stoin at cover after an absolute rocket. It was a pretty regulation kind of catch, except for the fact that this was travelling like the speed of light. Didn't cost him too much. I think Conway might have been on 31 or something when that happened. Enter even Ashton Agar. So his second over, I think he had 3 for 1 off it. Yep. And the guys that he got, Glenn Phillips, first ball, he's been in good form. Devon Conway obviously destroyed us, and Jimmy Neesham was really devastating in the last game. So 3 guys there that have been really good for New Zealand in the first 2 games, and then absolutely cleaned up the tail. He finished with 6 for 30, if you don't mind, of his 4 overs. The best bowling figures ever by an Aussie in a T20 international, the 5th best of all time. No one's ever got a 7 for, so someone can go outright, I suppose, if you will.
You can do well to get 7 wickets.
Yeah, well, if blokes can get 5 blokes who got 6, you never know. You never know. The record's actually held by an Indian called Deepak Chahar. He has 6 for 7.
It's my birthday, 6 and 7.
6 for 7.
Shout out Deepak. Happy birthday, Matt.
That was against Bangladesh. It'll be very interesting to see if that record ever gets broken. And as we were speaking about him before, Riley Meredith, 2 for 24 off his 4 overs, got the wickets of Seifert and Williamson. He's done his...
Bowled really quick.
Yeah, really fast. He was getting onto the bat very quick.
He bowled over 150 at one point as well.
Yeah. The Seifert wicket was... Because it was quite funny, we talked about it a bit earlier, Meredith was steaming up and it's Warnie's boy. I want him in the team. And he should be in the test team. Put him in the test team. Meredith comes in, steams in, and Guptill walks him. Just slaps him back over his head.
For 6,
and it was huge. And I just went, that's your fault, Shane. I think he went for about 11 off his first.
Yeah.
And then the next one, he sort of sped up Seaford. And that was that Stoinis actually took this catch. It was in the air for 15 minutes.
Yeah, came
and
down
it was
with
really
no
solid underneath it. And then Meredith sort of got into the game, showed a bit of that variation as well, used, slower balls into the deck. So he's definitely got a bit.
24, so
100%. We talk about building the pool now of international cricketers. You have to leave. Oh, it's out.
I was going to mention
Lawrence charging Akshar Patel, and he's missed it by an absolute country mile.
So I was just going to mention
for England and Australia's chances.
I think we finished up Australia and New Zealand because I wanted to mention this.